The rope cut into his wrists with every breath. In the empty field, a single post held a 19-year-old soldier named Sota. Behind him, a Titan's shadow grew.
Don't leave me. You can't do this. Daiki, you coward. I am a soldier, not a piece of bait.
Necessary sacrifice. The mission failed because of incompetence. One life buys the rest. Be useful for once, Sota.
This can't be real. He's really leaving me to die.
The Titan closed in, its massive hand reaching down. But then, a rumbling in the distance. A herd of wild horses burst across the plain, and the Titan turned toward the noise. Sota didn't watch it go. His eyes were on the ropes. For 2 days, he scraped and twisted, skin peeling, blood dripping. He would not stop. On the 3rd morning, an old villager found him crumpled near the post and carried him to a hut on the outskirts of a forgotten village.
Daiki, I don't know why you did it, but I am alive. And as long as I am alive, you are not safe.
The officer had filed his death certificate. Sota was officially a casualty, a necessary sacrifice.
So I am a ghost. A ghost with one mission. Daiki, you are going to find out what happens when the dead come back.
Weeks passed. The scars on his wrists hardened into permanent reminders, but his body grew stronger. Sota rarely spoke, except to ask one question.
That officer, the one who left me, what happened to him?
A passing merchant mentioned that Lieutenant Daiki had been promoted and transferred to a regiment near the capital. The name burned into Sota's memory.
Daiki. Now, I know where you hide, and I won't wait long.
He began to practice a deeper, rougher voice. Anything to erase the young soldier who screamed tied to the post.
Good. They'll hear a stranger, not the boy they sacrificed.
Before leaving, he stole a scout uniform from an unattended supply cart and snipped his hair shorter, shadowing his eyes.
One more thing. A name. Sota is dead. I'll be Inoue now.
3 days later, he entered the recruitment center, heart pounding, face blank.
My name is Inoue, just another soldier. Nothing more.
The regiment camp lay under clouded sky, rows of new recruits standing at attention. A stiff wind blew as the officers approached. Name, Inoue. Unit, unspecified. Previous service, none listed.
Sir, he didn't look twice. My voice, my scars. I am just another number to him.
He was assigned to a cramped bunk near the East Barracks. Beside him, a nervous-looking young man shifted on his cot.
I am Taro. You are Inoue, right? This is my 3rd week. I still can't sleep.
You'll get used to it, or you won't. Either way, keep your head down.
Later, at the training ground, Daiki shouted orders with the same cold precision Sota remembered from the field.
That voice. It's the same one that said necessary sacrifice. My wrists ache. Not yet. Keep the ghost in its grave. Watch, learn, and wait.
Sota pushed himself beyond every limit. He volunteered for the most dangerous patrols and never flinched, his eyes always watching.
Send me. I don't break easy.
During an ODM gear drill, a rookie's cable snapped. High above the ground, Sota swung in and caught him, landing them both safely.
He treats me like a tool, but I am the sharpest one he's ever wielded. Let him get comfortable.
Those reflexes. You are not like the common rabble Inoue. Keep this up. 2 days later, after a Titan engagement where Sota held a defensive line alone, Daiki promoted him to squad leader. In his office, Daiki presented a formal commendation letter, their hands briefly touching. Keep exceeding expectations. Soldiers of your caliber are rare in this regiment. That evening, in the mess hall, Taro sat beside him, his face pale and voice trembling.
Every time the lieutenant calls for a volunteer, someone disappears. My best friend. He was chosen 2 months ago.
Chosen for what, exactly?
Special assignment. They tied him to a post for a diversion. He never came back.
The words hit Sota like a blade. Behind his eyes, the rope, the shadow, Daiki's cold back, all burned again.
Not just me. He's done this before. How many others have been fed to the Titans?
Over days, Sota questioned older soldiers. A veteran mentioned a jinxed mission where 3 men were left as bait. In his notebook, Sota wrote every name, every date. The list grew to over a dozen, all missing, all tied to Daiki. Late that night, Sota pressed against the officers' quarters. Through the window, Daiki clutched a photograph, his face hollow.
Guilt, not the face of a monster. What's pulling your strings, Daiki?
The evidence was solid, but that photograph planted a thorn of doubt. Revenge was no longer simple. Testimonies were whispers. He needed hard proof. That night, he copied the archive key from the officer's peg.
No guards on this wing, just darkness and a locked past.
Inside, rows of cabinets, his fingers found a folder labeled Operation Cleanse.
Redacted names, and my old one crossed out, like I never existed.
At the bottom, a circular seal, Office of the Garrison Commander. His blood turned cold.
The garrison commander. Daiki answers to someone higher. This isn't just his sin.
Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Sota killed the lantern and pressed into the shadows. The patrol passed. He slipped out the window, folder tight against his chest. Back in the barracks, he stared at the seal. The game had changed. Revenge was incomplete.
Tomorrow, I'll make Daiki tell me who pulls his strings, face to face.
Next morning, Daiki gathered the squad for a briefing. His plan reeked of sacrifice.
Inoue's squad will hold the western breach. Draw the Titans' attention while we flank.
You mean as bait? Again? How many more until you run out of soldiers to throw away?
Careful, soldier. You are starting to sound insubordinate. Know your place.
Breathe. Not now. He's probing. Don't let him see the edge.
Later that day, Daiki watched from his window as Sota trained alone. A nagging unease crept in.
Those scars, that anger. He reminds me of someone I left behind, but he's dead.
He's staring. Does he finally see the ghost? I can't risk waiting longer.
The tension coiled tight. That night, Sota decided, no more games.
Tonight, I corner him. No lies, no shadows. He answers for what he did.
Sota strode toward the officer's quarters, but before he could knock, Daiki opened the door.
Inoue, I was about to send for you. Step inside.
The door clicked shut behind them. Daiki's office felt smaller at night, the lamplight trembling.
I've been watching you, Inoue. Your performance is remarkable. Almost too remarkable.
I follow orders, sir. Nothing more. If that's all.
No, it's more than that. You remind me of someone I knew, someone I failed.
He's not testing me. That's guilt. He almost remembers, but the name won't surface. I don't know who you mean, sir. I am just a soldier.
Daiki stared at him, then rubbed his eyes as if wiping something away. Without another word, he dismissed him.
He's cracking. Tomorrow, the ghost finally speaks. No more shadows between us.
Back in the barracks, Sota sat on his cot, the weight of the day pressing like a stone.
I can still feel the rope, the way it tore into my wrists, the sound of his footsteps fading. But tonight I saw his face, not the officer, the man behind it. Worn down, afraid.
He flipped through his notebook, a dozen names, a dozen lives cut short, and snapped it shut.
If he's hunted, then he knows it was wrong. That doesn't change what he did.
A small knife glinted in his locker. He reached for it, then paused.
No blade, just my voice, my hands. He'll remember the rope when I make him face me.
He stepped into the dark corridor, each footfall a countdown. The ghost was done waiting.
Tonight, you'll see the boy you left for dead. No more masks.
The hour had come. All the evidence, the names, the nights of watching, converging on this one knock. The door swung inward. Before Daiki could speak, Sota's hand seized his collar and slammed him back against the wall.
Remember me? 2 years ago, you tied me to a post while you walked away.
Impossible. Sota, I buried your file. You can't be...
All those soldiers. They were bait. Why are you still doing this?
I have no choice. Commander Isamu holds my wife and son. If I disobey, they die.
Daiki sacked his back, scraping the wall as he slid to the floor, hands shaking.
Every sacrifice, it's a cover-up. Isamu runs a black market for Titan body parts. I am just his executioner.
A worn photograph slipped from Daiki's pocket and landed face up on the floor between them. A smiling woman and a small boy. Daiki's family. The collateral for a trail of blood.
His family. He's not the villain. He's just another victim. What do I do now?
Daiki crawled to a loose floorboard and pulled out a worn leather ledger. Names, dates, payments, the full record of Isamu's operation.
Open it. I want to see every name.
Entry number 17. Sota K, assigned as bait. Cleanup completed. Payment received from CMDRI. A letter with the garrison commander's seal. The arrangement continues. Fail to provide cover, and your family will be disposed of.
He has my wife and son in a guarded estate. If I even hesitate, they're dead.
Killing him won't stop the killing. Isamu will just replace him. The rot goes higher. Then we make sure they don't die, and we take him down together.
You'd trust me after what I did to you?
Sota didn't answer. He just released Daiki's collar and stepped back. A silent pact forged in the darkness.
I came for revenge. Now I am making a deal with the devil to kill a bigger one.
After that night, they met in the back of an abandoned storage building. Two enemies forced into an uneasy alliance.
Isamu's residence is a fortress within the garrison. Guard rotations change every 6 hours. But I know the blind spots.
Why should I trust anything you say? You left me to die. Your word is worth less than dirt.
Because now you are the only hope I have. I've been waiting for someone who survived him, someone who would fight back.
Daiki spread a detailed map of the garrison. Red X's marked Isamu's office, the guard post, and a structure labeled estate.
His private office has a wall safe. The records are there, but the moment we move against him, my family dies.
Then we don't move until we have ironclad proof. I want every order, every payment, every name recorded and duplicated. We bleed him dry on paper first. No fists, no knives, just a mountain of evidence he can't hide from the generals.
They stared at each other, the weight of mutual distrust pressing down. This alliance was a knife held by both sides.
He's still a coward, but right now, his fear is my best weapon. We'll do this my way.
That evening, Sota slipped into Isamu's office during the guard shift change. His fingers moved quickly, attaching a listening device to the base of the desk lamp.
One slip and it's over. Daiki's intel better be solid.
Footsteps echoed in the corridor. The door latch clicked. Sota pressed himself flat beneath the desk, heart hammering.
The new shipment of spinal fluid arrives tomorrow. Make sure the cleanup squad is ready. No witnesses this time.
Understood, Commander. The usual bait or a different method?
Use a rookie, someone expendable. Daiki will provide the name.
Sota held his breath, the commander's boots inches from his face. The blood roaring in his ears nearly drowned out the words. After Isamu left, Sota scrambled out, his shirt soaked with sweat. He retrieved the device and slipped into the night.
We need more than financial records. I heard him order a cleanup. We need that on tape. Too close. But now we have a target. The next cleanup. We'll be the ones listening.
They met again in the cramped supply closet. But Daiki's hands wouldn't stop shaking. His face was the color of old snow.
I can't go through with it. Isamu sent a warning. If anything seems off, my son loses his life.
And what about all the sons you already killed? You tied them to posts and walked away. Their families got no warning, no mercy.
I know. I see their faces every night, the ones I left for the Titans. I am a monster. But my boy is innocent.
He's not just a coward. He's trapped in a cage I can't see. And I almost became him just now. Then help me make sure no other father has to do what you did. We don't run, we adapt. We set a trap so clean he'll walk right into it.
A trap? How? He's too paranoid. He never gives direct orders in person anymore.
You'll tell him you have a rookie perfect for the next cleanup. Tell him it's too sensitive to delegate. He must oversee it himself. His ego will demand it.
Daiki stared at the device in Sota's hand, then slowly nodded. The trap was set, a performance where the audience would be the evidence.
He's my bait now. Fitting. But this time, I won't let the Titan have him.
Before dawn, Daiki scrawled a note. Commander, sensitive cleanup required. Request personal oversight. Daiki. He sealed it with the regiment's stamp.
Now we wait. His ego will bring him. It always does with men like him.
Hours later, Sota stood before a cracked mirror in a storeroom, fastening a military police helmet. The recorder pressed flat against his ribs.
I am the bait again. But this time, I chose this. That makes all the difference.
They met one last time in the abandoned building. Daiki's hands shook as he checked his pocket watch.
3 hours. I haven't slept. Every time I close my eyes, I see my wife's face. If this fails...
You didn't give me a chance 2 years ago. I am giving you one now. Don't waste it.
They synchronized their watches to the second. The next time they'd meet, it would be inside the commander's office with history listening. Sota left first, his guard uniform blending him into the garrison corridors. Every step echoed with the weight of 2 years.
This ends tonight. Not with my fists, but with the truth. And after that, I don't know who I'll be.
Commander, Izamu's office smelled of old paper and cold authority. Daiki stood rigidly before the desk, his back soaked with sweat.
Daiki, the boy in the village, he saw the last delivery. Make him bait tonight. No loose ends.
Behind the heavy curtain, Sota pressed the small recorder tighter. Daiki's voice came out thin and hollow.
Commander, the boy is only a child. Could we move him instead? A relocation.
You are not getting soft on me, are you, Daiki? Remember who holds your leash.
Sota's elbows struck a small vase on a side table. Ceramic shattered. Isamishin shran with the samazams.
What was that? Are you alone here?
Just a rat, Commander. Nothing more. Of course I'll handle the bait. Forgive my hesitation.
Isamu grunted, straightened his tunic, and strode out. The door clicked shut. Silence throbbed.
Look, the recorder's light is blinking. It's all here. Every word. Now we move before he suspects.
They dashed through the dark streets, clutching the recorder and ledger. The military police headquarters loomed ahead. Inside, the regional general examined the recording and ledger. His expression turned to stone as Isamu's voice filled the room. The general stood abruptly. This is enough to hang a commander. We move immediately. He summoned an elite arrest squad. Black uniformed soldiers filed into the room, awaiting orders.
We know his routine, his panic points. If you want him before he erases evidence, take us with you.
The general nodded. Minutes later, Sota and Daiki led a column of armed MPs back toward the garrison. The city slept, but the sound of heavy boots shattered the silence. Daiki's hands were steady now.
He's not the coward who left me to die, and I am not just a ghost anymore.
They reached the garrison gates. The guards, still loyal to Isamu, let them through. The trap was about to close. They halted outside Isamu's office. The moment of reckoning had arrived. The squad kicked the door inward. Isamu dropped his glass, shattering it across the floor, his face a mask of cold fury.
You fools. Do you know who I am? I'll have every one of you executed.
Before he could reach the panic button, soldiers seized his arms. Daiki was already slipping out the side door. Daiki raced down a dark corridor, his footsteps echoing off the stone walls. At the end, a locked door with a single guard.
Rina, Haruki.
The guard, seeing the arrest party, threw down his weapon. The door swung open. A woman and a small boy cowered in the corner. They ran into his arms. Daiki fell to his knees, tears streaming, clutching them with an exhaustion born of years of fear. Back in the office, Isamu was forced past Sota. Their eyes locked, the commander's hateful, the soldier's hollow. Sota stood in the doorway of the distant room, watching Daiki cradle his family. The knife of his own past twisted, but the edge was dull.
This is what I survived for. Not revenge, just this. I don't know what to feel.
Daiki released his family and returned to the command room. The general and the squad stood waiting.
I am ready to face my punishment. I will not ask for mercy.
He knelt and began reciting names from the ledger, names he remembered with brutal clarity. His voice shattered on the fourth. Taro stumbled forward, eyes wide. The names included his friend.
Sir, why? Why them? You were our officer.
Because I was a coward. I thought if I obeyed, my family lived. I was wrong to think that justified anything.
Sota watched from the back of the room, his fists tight. The rage he had carried for 2 years had nowhere to go.
He's saying the words I wanted to hear, but I can't find any satisfaction. Just wait.
The general ordered Daiki cuffed. As he was led away, the regiment stood in stunned silence. Sota turned and walked toward the barracks alone. The victory tasted of nothing. In the mess hall, soldiers raised cups to the young soldier who had exposed the corruption. Sota sat at the edge, untouched drink before him.
You saved us all, Sota. After everything, you were the one who broke this open.
Number. I just pointed the finger. It doesn't bring anyone back.
He slipped away before they could press him. The noise of celebration faded behind him. In the empty barracks, he sat on his cot. The rope-burn scars circled his wrists like faded manacles.
2 years. The post is gone, but these bindings never left. Neither did the silence of that field.
The ledger, the recording, Daiki's confession, it was all a script he had finished performing. The stage was empty.
He's in a cell now, and I have no answer. Maybe if I see him there, something will settle.
He stood, pulled on his jacket, and walked out into the fading evening. The prison waited on the edge of town. He didn't know what he would say, if he would say anything at all. The prison corridor was sterile and silent. Sota sat down before the glass partition, his breath fogging the surface. Daiki shuffled in, wrists cuffed. He slumped onto the opposite stool, eyes wet and red-rimmed.
I don't deserve to ask your forgiveness, but I am sorry. I am sorry for every rope, every name. I was a coward.
The words hung in the dead air. Sota's face remained still, unreadable.
What do you say to the man who became your ghost? There's no word for this.
He searched for something. Anger, pity, release, but found only a vast, quiet emptiness. Daiki pressed his palm against the glass, a wordless plea. Sota watched it for a long moment. Then he stood, without a word. He turned and walked toward the heavy door. Outside, the sky was bruised with dusk. Sota halted and looked down at the rope-burn scars. He flexed his hands once, then pulled his sleeves down and continued walking. The road stretched on, and the weight went with him. The road led him back to the same empty field. The post still stood, gray and splintered, weathering the seasons alone. Weeds had grown over the spot where the ropes had held him. Sota stopped a few feet away, hands at his sides. He did not touch it. There was nothing left to prove. The wind stirred the grass, erasing his silence. He had come full circle. The boy who was bait was now just a man, carrying a weight heavier than rope. He turned his back on the post and walked away, his figure small against the darkening sky. The post remained behind him, a lone marker of a story that had changed its shape, but never its weight. The grass waved in the breeze, filling the spaces where screams had once echoed. Silence reclaimed the ground, and the man who survived walked on into a silence that was entirely his own. The scars on his wrists no longer burned. They had become part of the map he would carry forward, Unspoken, he did not look back. The horizon stretched open, and in the fading light, a quiet, uneasy peace settled.